Hi folks, it's me again, John. I'm here down in the church, just been doing a little bit of reading, and I actually came across something that at first I thought was quite humorous. I thought I'd just pass it by you, but there could be another meaning to this which I will discuss with you. Just been reading from the book of the prophet Amos, and there was a couple of incidents in two of the chapters that kind of made me laugh. It seemed kind of so obvious. I'll just read it for you, see what you think. In chapter 7, Amos said, "This is what the Lord showed me. The Lord was standing by a wall that had been built true to plumb, with a plumb line in his hand." And this is the bit. "And the Lord asked me, 'What do you see, Amos?' And Amos replied, 'I see a plumb line.'" I thought that was kind of humorous. And then over in chapter 8, Amos says, "This is what the sovereign Lord showed me, a basket of ripe fruit." And then the Lord said to Amos, "Amos, what do you see?" And Amos replied, "I see a basket of fruit." When I read that, I thought it was kind of humorous almost. You know, you show a man a plumb line and then say, "What do you see?" And he says, "I can see a plumb line." And then you show him a basket of fruit and say, "What can you see?" And he said, "I can see a basket of fruit." And I just thought that was kind of obvious, really, and it sort of made me smile a little bit when I read it. But then I thought, you know, there could be more to this than what meets the eye. Over in the book of Matthew, chapter 16, I turned to it and I read this. "The Pharisees and Sadducees came to Jesus and tested him by asking him to show them a sign from heaven. He replied to them, 'When evening comes, you say, it will be fair weather, for the sky is red. And in the morning, today, it will be stormy, for the sky is red and overcast. You know how to interpret the appearance of the sky, but you cannot interpret the sign of the times.'" And then I suddenly had a thought. And I thought to myself, you know, maybe it wasn't so silly that God should show Amos two things and then say, "What can you see?" Because really God was making sure that Amos could see what he, God, was showing to him. Because, you know, there are some people who do not see what God is showing. The Pharisees and the scribes were such people. They could not see what God was showing to them. They, above all people, should have understood that who Jesus was by the signs, by his birth, by all the prophetic signs that were fulfilled around him. And yet they could not see a simple thing. And that's why he tested Amos to say, "Can you actually see what I'm showing you, Amos?" And Amos said, "Yes, Lord, I can see." You know, Amos himself said, I'll just read it to you. He said, "I was neither a prophet nor the son of a prophet, but I was a shepherd, and I also took care of sycamore fig trees. But the Lord took me from tending the flock and said to me, 'Go prophesy to my people Israel.'" There's no wonder God took this man, who was not a prophet, nor the son of a prophet. It wasn't in his ancestry. But God took him because he knew that Amos was a man who could see what God would want to show to him. And you know, God is looking for people like that today. People who can see what he is showing. What do you think that the Lord is showing us in this day and age? The Jews have returned to Israel after 2,000 years of absence. Rome has been rebuilt through the European Union. Almost all of the prophecies, the ancient prophecies, have now been fulfilled. Those prophecies about the last days. Can we see what God is showing to us? Can we see this bowl of fruit? Can we see this plumb line that the Lord is showing to us? And what about you personally, in your own personal life? Is the Lord showing you something? Things that must change in your life? Attitudes that must change? Things that you should be doing? jobs that the Lord wants to do through you? And can you see what is shown to you? You know, it's very, very important in this day and age, because we are in the last days, that we can see what the Lord is showing to us. So the story of Amos isn't quite so silly after all. There was a reason why the Lord showed him something, then asked, can you see it? Can you see what I'm showing to you? And he said, yeah, oh, yeah, I can see what you're showing. Is that what the Lord is saying to you right now? Can you see what I'm showing you about your life? About the need to get right with God, the need to walk closer to the Lord, the need to prepare yourself for the coming of Jesus Christ? Can you see what is showing to you through the signs of the times all around us? Have a good week. Think about this. God bless you all. Bye.